che na memao akwa ba mfa ombra Nnawotwi dwumadie so wo Adom TV. If you are trying ho ewo Asempa 94.7 FM. Nyamia ya Adom yako asan ba be hye mo biom. Yen hwendwendwe o man Ghana. Nnawotwi o nsem bebre na SCC. Na mom nsem mienu bi a agye atine pa na yesi nkonwa se yeba na yeba ba hwehwem onim se abeto dwa se Ghana ban ama ekubi from Barari se omam ho kwan so omon kono nkotu Lithium ewo Central Regional Pemu ho eno ho nsem bebre aba beto dwa ebedi hu nkomo ebisa se Ghana ye no yie anase ya anye no yie ya assemble great minds are omunim mine munsem ye papa meboy me yetumi atensem na se ye now Berari DV Limited no den enomo ye lithium numpo mutu no den mfaso ben de beba Ghana ho den na nka o se yetumi ye na yenya bebre ana nhye no omkoye no ne pepem ye ba bedi sa enkomo no na wo sha Ghana ye the fourth largest host of lithium about lithium a world continent in Africa ye ene toso and 9 Zimbabwe ene din kan o hwe wiase nyina nso a Chile ene wo lithium bebre pa na mom eba ne se nintu dia motoso mienu Argentina the world's fourth largest producer of lithium and Mali Africa's third largest na ode to ho a eba no royalties afemo a Ghana yes, yeah, get 10% royalties from 5%. Nanka 5. And they they are 10. Osha Zimbabwe, they 5 na no moje. Osha Chile, they 1% ad valorem. And you maybe say no ad valorem they're saying. Na Argentina 3%. Mali 3 to 6%. Yet ye see free carried interest. As a company etua. Yedi also 10%, 13%. Emrano chesenka ye 10. Oshe mining law na 10. Emum sa lithium nko ade empanimfo say ye 13. Oshe Zimbabwe omono free carrying interest no munibi. Chile 0, Argentina 0, Mali de 10%. Enomuni nsema edreda ho. Oshe Ghana additional site participation ayesi ye just 6% in local company Berari DV Limited no na osho mo foreign company mother company nankasa Atlantic Lithium Ghana say ye better 3.06% shares or sa company nemu again in the local no you say 4% locals ebe akwai sa share no in the local company Barari company nso ye be listed on the stock exchange na Ghana for etumi ato shares ewo sa company no your corporate tax you want him 35%. So these are the issues but and sembebre and ababa unfortunately say enam say ya sign is a deal nti Barari for asha say A2 lithium no sa ene chre and it say impenifor beboy ema to me atensem na no unfortunately say deal ya sign no enye eye to say titinoa dada na ye na ene yesia ya sa ye ne bio ye bisa se sa ene sitie mpenifo beboy eme yetumi ate nsem na ase ewo Nnawotwi dwumadie so ena na penti na pay de se open chechrem about sa lithium mining lease no ewo Ghana and yeah this is where you need to be because ye baba chire omu ma wotumi ate ase ye again aban de you know emrabi LIB by say or the bra ebeto enu bi na nke kraba Ghana eno your sister station Joy FM list be normal ye kraba Ghana ha na wo hwe mu pa emna keke nkra ye krade ba Ghana ha you spending around $25 million annually. Now a man who almost works in over $200 million and ye cradeba. A more over $500 million. Then no Ghana abaya and I don't say, well, see a shesika ye de kwama na neko kranio meba. Ni hu se nyo man bi so ho ye wo opportunities e betumi aye o man mu de ene ye de mrabi ba ye beka se nyoma ye krabai ye de nsa atoso obet me akraba just a minister and one ma ho kwan say okay me hwe se nia ye short for no city a ye ma ho kwan na fabra opposition e dey anoto mu guta for e kan bi nko bre e kan bi say no ye ntumi emfa power sa enhye nipa ba konsem nti be yanka aban on twensai aban etwensai ye ba be di sa nko nsem nyina ho enkomo omo eni ombedi nkomo eye ora Martin Kwekweyisi or CEO of Minerals Commission, Robert Tantia Lee, Executive Director for Center for Social Impact Studies, Robert Ewoha, Sebeka Dr. Frank Boating, Vice Dean of the Office of Research, Innovation and Consultancy, University of Mines and Technology, Palgrave Boachidankwe, Government Spokesperson, on so Ewoha, and Yenida Kwanisi, Sebeka Alhaji Amadu Sorogo, or a former MP for Medina. Well, in Zambia, Benana Abba, Nemum. Yen chiro nsem kakra ye can see any on air sa lithium mining no ye ba ye bedwafo no aye ready ye behwe ya kom apensen ma wo so etumi ate ase ye nti oni entna ye ba
free bra agudie foforo kora ohunu foforo Ghana ha lithium honsem bede adwa se wahunu no mfimfim mantem no honsem kaye asori yie pa omanfo peso ohunu lithium no kora no se de sitie ene mfaso a Ghana man betimi anya free so enne ne da so afo bede akira ohwensa ase ni mododo de honsem so George Mrikuduka ede atodwa se lithium no ye ade a ebeboa pa ma ahyen hodo a waye no batteries ewo mu a ema wisie efree ka to eba be se wiem ebobra wiase amanyina eguso a wo ko ho no obetimi ayide free ho nkyeremu a wode ma
yeah, as a for cry, we as a fanina, Bia Trinagin Esido. Ghana ni yimpode wa lithium. Yankopon Adom and a company free Australia will be used to technology to find out today wa lithium. Na lithium the say can lithium na oyaza we are zina ete nkade what can be climate change. Na chede nwisu na zeno obsesawim. Nti ndebo hu na man bi wo na flood esim so ewia na obo no ina no ye hyew dodo na ono na sisiara wiaza afane ina ya adwende ode yesesa dam shabre no na ban kwa na ebe fado yesesa na chede ode nwusu na aza ofifika no tu na adze nyina ode yeje nti yenya bibia ofen lithium dam lithium mean what the batteries was the cars yen use fuel
owieye osan edit twa se wonmo a wo mfimfim mantem a wahunu sa agudie ebenya ho mfaso yi pa free se mabuna wo ho ebenya dwuma ye na fe so atwen edom aba ho amesikasem afanantuma pa fra wo mpotamo
me ka se ehwe mfaso a orba oso papa how you unprecedented the ehwe mfaso pe lithium no per the agreement ya ye no Ghana stand very tall in this agreement na or the mpuntu baba mfantaman because obama njuma mranti be njuma bebre aye e won mfantaman district just the Ghana for the fiso so sisi amenyo kase company na one will lead in terms of management or Ghana for to already na start to create njuma or the Ghana for.
All right, enti ensem no senior city and I abo akere ho no. Yamra studio na yanim abedwafo ending komo. Openi pa oda eku a omo no se ba no se bia yenkotu famagudi a ombema ho kwan se ko na kotu no. Ora Martin Kweku Eyisi. Ana me pese me friend nana. Emeta so friend nana. O CEO for the Minerals Commission about cancer. Nana, Martin, we have a go there.
Oh, we have a go.
Nice one. After with the lithium mining our central region him fan your passes here
Pani me dance ansana yebe ma krata se ko start se o tu e wo Ghana mra no o hia niema miensa bodi be ka se fundamental so fundamental SMO license. SMO EPA for permit.
Okay.
Uji EPA permit ya. Now was some by Minerals Commission abe hu Chief Inspector of Mines. Now wa ma operating permit.
Okay.
Enu na be ma kwan se ko na ko tu. But o share Ghana mremo Article 2C say the constitution as a Bible no and your Quran constitution. bibia ne Ghana mra, everything is below it. Ghana mra say contract bia how the memo bibia say uncle to gold and any mineral. I saw the call parliament. Until 19th now minister signing or ministry na me obi. I think it was carried live.
Yeah.
But the two just say in Shishebi or I say you completely and sana you started. Until no after na you be call parliament for ratification. And young koy ye young krata near the call cabinet. If you wanna watch near the call speaker, then select committee of mines energy be free. Abisa all the questions and so normal submitted to the main parliament. Into your new number 1. Into you share your minerals and mining law now. A woman. In fact, you share lithium agreement now. Clause 1E. A woman say, it is subject to what? Ratification by parliament. Here are 9 for you. In fact, call parliament here. A boom now. So there be. We are in the process. Ebia between now and ebia next year no yebe because short calendar of parliament cabinet bibia until you say between now achabe is an year. That's number 1. Until you ratify minister the beko or the two draft the very day now signing here. That's number 1. Number 2, omo year EPA. Wow, EPA process is very rigorous for mine. Until omo fair be public or the scoping report beba public hearing be consultation. A crew more for benya chance. So we about 50 years saying we relocate here now, then noise level, dust, all those things will be handled by EPA. And I Ghana need be all baby to meet him. And he answer this offer we are now Bonko and now Crampa Room Derby. That's also 1. Then apart from that, unya EPA new year, then you come back to Minerals Commission.
Okay.
Yeah, more operating permits. After your operating permit, you know, some construction permit. Minerals Commission. And so now, would you plans will be started so your construction? According to Inshishen, at least I bet take it 14 months. And so normal construct. That's a UC die plant, baby workers, veteran, all those things. And young families say, give and take it to me paperwork. Maybe we are looking at first quarter of next year. Until be a construction crab started it be after Easter. It depends on how things go. Because if you want to mean rush it. Well, so the to Jana for be a public hearing and all those things, expect be way. Until still you crop paper more. But a coin Ghana mining law, my coin say, was almost chain ratification. Omoni EPA didn't get about environmental, fallout or implications of the mining, and also after that, Minerals Commission, all those things, which will take maybe for the next 6 months or so. No? A coin that was still
okay.
And you're prospecting.
Okay.
I mean, that's how you extend my life. Into Ufa Newman, say, Ufa Obuasi, say, still prospecting.
Okay.
The other banner will be because I'll bet to 10 years at least. But later, now I expanded. So for now, no, they are not mining.
And this is a call a way.
Call a way, you're prospecting.
Okay.
I know they are more license, a coin down, so still our mugu to some yen shim. Into one shall cry beer 12 years, no, maybe not. I could do bear 15 years, 20 or 50 years. I mean, Ufa Ghana manganese here, almost started in 1916. 1916, wow. For now, no, they are not mining.
Okay.
Until me catch 30 million Ghanaians said, you're starting mining here. Okay. We are.
So say Kohwa, I mean, people are saying say I started mining. I'm sure because of Adom prospecting, no. Then I say, me call me so more yeah, I will tell me so okay, you're mining by
prospecting. No, Ubefa excavator. No to America crazy. Wow. No, no, they call up for testing to check the grade. That's number 1. And now your friend be drill rig. Wow. Drilling a picky samples. So those are the things that is going on now. Okay. And more workers and all those things. So that is not mining.
Okay.
Prospecting and shame.
Okay.
Until I'm telling the whole world, Mopa, organize you be a journalist, be an alcohol. So mining is different from prospecting. So no mining is going on. In fact, it is against Ganamra, some bear mining. Serious. It me try licenses no more cry am on. Nya de omo tumi aye. And am mine we ya yebehu. Unless you do it in the sky, yebehu. O kata so cry yebehu. So no mining is taking place at a way as we speak.
Okay. All right. Nnawotwi adwuma de maka kire say opese what lithium na cost na sia. This is what you need to be. May I acknowledge say Dr. Frank Dr. Frank Boateng, Vice Dean of the Office of Innovation Research and Consultancy or UMAT, and also joining via Zoom ye be kon ho na ko din komo enche Honorable Ahmed Sorogo, ye former MP former Dina obe join here studio na yetumi edin komo. Let me still go back to Nana Bio because and Nana is setting the tone for us so that you bet me interrogate Nana. A lot of Nkofo Akase issues with air contractor my signing because it looks like we are still following the old ways. Oh, my 10% royalty, free carried interest, around CC and they call 13%, and yet almost a year. And then I'm more share and I'm more consider I'm more agree on the terms governing this particular contracting.
Opening me dasi. Omo report no ba Minerals Commission. You said no. Adie we dodo na omo hu ya no quality no grade ni bibia no. Anka under normal circumstances anka be recommendation to minister so Momu mining lease. Yeah, the normal mining lease. I am a Newmont, Goldfields, and Google Ashanti pesos, ni go this stuff. But I see there be. We are treating you differently. But even before that, and then a month for baby before that, now as far back as July, minister your statement in Parliament. No, see you lithium never treating you different. A chill or the paper called cabinet. Because I was there with him. And our cabinet discussing all these issues at APA. You consider so many factors. In fact, Nema Miensan ye call it. One, your current mining policy, no. Yeah, amend it, yeah, revise it. Nemfa green minerals in Kaho. That was one of the proposals. Number two, Nyanya guidelines, normal guidelines, Nyanya share, oh, if you are business as usual. And now, the one that, sometimes, you know, I may feel say, be a, because you see, so many things are omakano. And you be anka, boy, a manier, and omobu anka. Yeah, the mom, because the agreement in no mom by first one, no man kind. Okay. I mean, it was scared he didn't read it. Into a while, John Kwachicho by the mom email, and the so. Mupe discussing, mupe background information, mupe pobia, with the mammy use Ghana for Casa, mupe upon information be yeah ready. I think so mupe more discussions, I'm inviting and participate. Yeah, the document in mom, oh man, friend. Wow. Into many of the proposals are modi to journal and other think tanks now mukano. One, it was in our law already. Okay. The whole I said no, these people they have not done extensive work. For example, they say, oh, young competitive bidding share law, but it is already in the law since 2012. And then, of course, if they come back and say, why didn't you use it? You know, as to why we didn't go that route. And then they raise also the issue of let's set up a company like the Giadeg one. It is animal when they call cabinet. Then after that, minister big announcement. So sure that day, in fact, graphic manner headline a lot of the things were there. And many of the things were there were already in the system, well known. Which if they had, requested additional information, my information say, yeah, per se, research. And people are asking for information, yeah, they are more, except and all those things. They won't have, that is not to say, because we're expecting some mobile or kind get a lot of information and now come and critique us and say, no, you can't be still like, so, achia, now, when you say, and that kind of thing. So, These are some of the things that inform us. In the cabinet say, look, and then when we're going to cabinet, we look at all the things that are happening all over the world. So, for example, cabinet say, look, royalty, make sure say the minimum is 7. Minimum is 7. In the end, you need upper limit, so we can even go as far as the heaven. Yeah, minimum is 7 because you're presenting all the royalty rates for other countries.
Okay.
2. I think yeah, maybe other countries in here. Then government also said, look, free carry interest, let's increase it, fix it at a minimum of 13. And see, ask whether why we didn't get 20, 40, or 50. We'll come to that. Corporate tax, engineer baby, we have the highest corporate tax in Africa and one of the highest in the world, outside Chile. Okay, and then TNU, the argument all along said you're benefiting from your minerals. I mean, 20 years at Minerals Commission, Bibiana Bofono be caught, everything. You see, so one of the things at present can say no, more designing program no in such a way said Ghana for the participate. So first, more increase percentage for our buying. But instead of Saudi BBA government, what about Ghanaians?
Okay.
Okay, there's no contract in Ghana today where government alone holds that kind of percentage because the myth ni government the boma 19% just for the state. Then Metisen Kofobica so other Namunji 50% like Chile. I'll discuss a lot about Chile. But must everything go to the state? Other now found called stock exchange. Stock exchange now Abuafuno called raising money. Perth, Vancouver, Toronto, normally Abahano. Why don't you also take it to stock exchange for Ghanaians to also own shares? Until we see the other Ghanaian participation. Why don't you take it to a stock exchange so that ABS Senate, more pension funds, more TF4, no more country more invest, no more coto in so ABS treasury bills, and then in conform for. That is it. And then this design the way because one of the questions present besides a main person would be cost stock exchange by top. Then it is the same thing.
But that is around 4%.
No, that's why we are here.
Okay.
Again, I'm sorry to say, a lot of people could have come for this information. Wow. Until beyond the 19%, all those, percentage and minimum, minimum, at least minimum. TNU, say 30%. Minimum should be state and Ghanaian participation. Until they are almost complete with stock exchange, Security and Exchange Commission. I'm part of that committee.
Okay.
Until be a crown by Easter, by time you be ratify, you be EPA, you be construction permit, you be ready.
Okay.
So that is one. So that is one fundamental difference between what we have now and the rest of the other contracts we have. Then let me tell you something. Our agreement in page 23, schedule 2, say. You know, but transit. I and she share as to the refining in Ghana. Make a committee, and I say, be a Omoko baby, nobody reports from Bia bro. Make a home, I'm a member of that committee.
Okay.
And now you must for count, Bibia. So we are saying, say, first, no more 6 months, my mom 6 months, I see there be about more 4 months. Until you are more 4 months after the signing of the contract. The contract was signed on the 19th. Okay? Until they have up to 20th February to come out with the report and say, oh, you better see refining, ABI or salt pump.
Okay.
About CSA. You understand? We need to know how much it will cost. And then, is it cheaper than the ones elsewhere? And then, the two China and the other countries in Chile. And yeah, they are able to ABI, these are my incentives. Okay, all my incentives are the outcome will it overweigh that. So this is in it. And they share to the extent say, look, say one to me and yeah. Obi banos you only the obey you are bound to sell to them. It is in the agreement. 2, I realized all the critics were silent on the other minerals. And I was asking myself, why are you focusing only on lithium? First power, kaolin or silica. Now, reserves now so far for first part, 15 million tons, high grade, 28%. Only your 5 ceramics factory in Ghana, 5. Ninya China for Keda. ceramics. One chamber, almost use gas pipeline. Internet gas pipeline because all of them use gas pipeline. One can. Yeah, in China, in Tifachem. Sent you, almost time, almost oil. Then Jintao and Marco Polo. Okay? Uko Kida Ceramics, he has 4,500 direct workers. He turnover at $300 million. $300 million.
Oh, Shama, Ghana
hire 5 ceramics. That's why me ceramics now I nearly collapsed because me first say idea say almost exported to Ghana, West Africa, Peru, Nina. Almost use 5 minerals: tack, clay, limestone, feldspar, nickel. Now you're checking the statistics because when you're mineral, you're checking the statistics of these 5 ceramics companies. Almost use 960,000 tons of feldspar. 15 million divided by 12 years, 1,250,000. That is 1,250,000. You understand? So more or less, the current feldspar number produced from a way is equivalent to
how much
what they are using now. But remember, say the 960,000 nearly 1 million tons of feldspar no more uses here in Ghana. No, every small scale for small scale for now, I have more license. Yeah, good. First one, Kaolin, was Central Region, Western Region, Shamaho, Omunamo supply. So it means that most likely, companies will be talk with because we are 28% and a small scale for India 8%. Premium first one. Our agreement will say it shall never be exported. Okay? And also, you move 4 months, say, markets are because right now, it's like if artisanal production nearly 1 million now. Almost the anything is 1.2 million. I am finding 1.3. What happens to that? What happens? I come to export the first part raw and I had a premium. Into your mom 4 months, say you no more trans iron shisha to look at the market size. First one, be coin fire, be see factory and all those things. Masa, as Kwesi Pratt will say, make a committee. You catch on me say that consultancy well, moon to me in farm ma. Canadians and Australian no more be catching so any feasible. Omodi ma UMAT reporting in here.
Okay.
Sure. The feasibility study on first one industrial minerals. Yeah, the ma UMAT, yeah, university.
UMAT,
yes. Omodi about where scoping. T. Next week, omember my full feasibility.
Okay.
Until ahead of February, you named that. So you see, by the time you have ratification, you have what do you call it? EP. You have winning now. By April, we know whether the market take our first part.
Okay. All right.
We know whether or not what will happen to our chemical plants. Because you see, we have learned a lot of lessons from the gas pipeline.
Okay.
Nigeria move and so let's get ready near you. But by the time we started producing gas from the oil fields, we were flaring.
Yes.
And by the time now construction best started somewhere middle of next year. Company will be ready to move to lithium to start with somewhere 2025 in Shisha
okay.
How come say critics idea we actual agreement they didn't touch on this.
Okay,
one new month and I go for his contest almost see refinery. So this is what is different.
Okay, about this
we quite comedies me but remember I'll defer to you because you are the host.
Mate, let me go on to Zoom. Now I'm for Dr. Frank Boateng in Brem. Nana Ebo UMAT for say Omunomukuta Consultants, our Moye. Dr. Frank Boateng, Vice Dean, Office of Research, Innovation and Consultancy, UMAT. Doc Marche, so I'm sure you have details of this particular deal. Ghana for Brennan actually say, to me, we could have gotten more than a Odin was saying.
You're with the Kojumetia, now Machia and pay for more studio. Ora Martin AC, me ankasa boss. Say wa church and your mamu bebre. Me feel say and debia me can say mining is a very complex business. Na yemu bebre ye can be yentuyabo NTRC ye. So memao also account for the other mining operations. And fortunately, I have personally been involved in a number of them, especially with fundraising. Oshe mines a yehuni sa no. And that form. Sika yediye mines and that form. And the appetite to even go there and explore. Obekwa gold no so no and that form. And sana Atlantic ebe drew sa time ye o madri. Emre bebre atwam a omo di sika hye for my exploration. I know de obi anka ho asem. Announcement by say oh yenya lithium, yenya feldspar. Obi a kasa de ne mfama Ghana for na Ghana for nye. This is what we want. The here no say Ghana for ye anka sanse be de be. Ye betumi aye say adwuma we. Na beneficiation and as a sika ye benya o say agudie ho no. E betena Ghana he ya na e de ama ye na ye nyoma akoso. And so you need the capital to do this or to start this. And already is ya kan nyina e wa ha. Onhwe say obi ebekọ akọbọ bisia no de baba be di say adwuma we. Na odi dwuma ni wi a afia so baba mfa so de ama no ne wona odi won sika share mu no. Ozi enda ne na yemfama Ghana for. Memma yenko e chi kakra bi wa abakosem kakra. Ye o Ghana he ya na America for ba Ghana. Omo the American pension funds ebe started Tebrebe gold mines. Eye o madwuma wiye e na omo koye. Na se kire ne se sika ye de estate mines and education former goodie no. E na dose bebre. E no raise sika na okase ye betini afa ye ntie 3 pension tier 4 whatever. Na ye de akwakoshim na ye invest mining and I say de akoto shares, in the mining stocks. Okay. But we don't do this. And I say you need the appetite, to do that. But doc, say you are no. Individual ascribe to me a to determine say it will be or why can't the state itself to do that exploration to determine the reserves and so that am I a bargaining right to bargain for more than what we get? So let me tell you, I think that open say onanti a yemfiti preoccupant sorry in free form. Share ansana ye privatizing your mines ewo Ghana ha. Now the mines was being owned by the state, which was a state gold mine. So be abekaya Takwa, Konongu, Dunkwa, and all these places, and was being run by the state. What happened is history. We got a private entity to come in. Goldfields came in, and they acquired the Takwa mine, and they have been mining since. And they have been profitable since. So what happened to the state gold mine and to now? I believe that there has been so many learnings. Yansha Mineral Income Investment Fund, MIF. And I am sure that you follow through and you know what MIF is set out for and what they are doing. Now, MIF is investing in minerals. Asante Gold. Ghana government has got equity in Asante Gold. This very Atlantic lithium we are talking about, I believe strongly that if you go check their stocks, government of Ghana has got equity interest in it.
Yes.
So gradually we are coming back into the state having or paying particular attention into how we can benefit from our minerals. That's how it starts. And for a very long time, Sadia way near Hong Kong said, any currency at 10% free carried interest. Now it's a honey, I find the call. I was here a table in hobby. Table no better than one cotton home. So we see can come one. Untumin cotton table no.
Okay. But answer me na hono. And for raise issues, why is a young going for a service contract, but rather you're going for a concessionary one?
So, could you find say you've spent close to 100 million to explore, and then I tell you, say, well, who lithium maybe maybe my service contract. You see, we have to understand what are the issues on the ground. And just say, lithium until be sorry. Then he's talking about lithium. Yeah, from Ghana for and yeah, is a sao.
Okay. All right. Yo, Mate, Dr. Frank Boateng, a Vice Dean, Office of Research, Innovation and Consultancy, or UMAT. My member studio, na memfa Ora Robert Tanti-Ali, or Executive Director for Center for Social Impact Studies. Doc, what ye, Nana? What ye, Doc, and so on this particular deal, there now, and what do you think say bet me yet to allow Ghana benefit more than you for break? I was reading.
Okay, Medawasi. You tell me say we share current agreement on paper. Send you na
Mr.
EC kana offer bibi to say royalties. Now you're paying at 5 no. Yeah, the coin you make 10. Carried over interest about 13%.
13%.
MIF and so I show interest by 6%. Yeah, for now, total government interest. Now government is even participating into and yet carry over interest. And quite normal person cost stock exchange now more Ghanaians about on board. And we're going to have a government on the table. Yeah, and now what's also like I said, we have to add value.
Sorry, let me also add. Say, I'm told on the board, Ghana were 2 slots. Yes. One from MIF and then government itself.
Yes,
so
and Osha, Omu intend is on increasing their participation. So if relatively, we compare to all the other agreements, now you bet make it relatively good. But here is the problem.
Okay.
Mr. AEC, in some of our account, me hunyoma minu bako. Say. One area agitation, one community and civil society. How were they involved in the entire process? Because sitting at government, the cabinet, and then finalizing some of these things. Now, or there is space, you have more time, and so now actual mining. But from time I almost started discussions, a summary, time I almost signed agreement. It tells you share community for more free room or more take room no any communities are feel said they will be affected. And now free ho. Utie radio ne TV they are the people talking. I didn't know more kasa. And who be dentia. You best starting more introduction. Minister can say, oh, Edim Punto Beban Fantimai, Mebrun Benya Jumaye. Anka me person me fa kwan so na anka me 2 ministers for say on just raise nkofo expectation because you won't be that time Anglo da Ashanti e call redevelopment or mobile be launch no ye make it a statement we say mbebunu benye juma ye on be we it was in recent times you fu ne oboase Anglo da Ashanti enya conflict be why because ye raise expectations on benye juma ye and input you by a solve more problems in and the reality is that company no and to me absorb the team you from pay Jumaye. Into that is the issue. 2, you increasing royalties at the core 10%. The question I ask is time now 5%. You know? Development be the break communities. Communities now a tier because you mining. A best say nyoma. Obi antumi nka nche mo ha say mining na yebeka akoye no. Ense nkofo afu. Ense nkofo nsu. Ma kan agreement no. There is space for resettlement. Yeah, Oma refer company no to the law. So mo follow ni bibia. But the reality is that people will be affected. How are you engaging these people? And from the backlash abiding Minerals Commission in Yan said they are not engaging all relevant stakeholders. How do we go down and read this document, this agreement to the local person? Nipana oti adie no nipana nefu be affected. Nipana ebi ekwan obefa sekura mines ntie ba be si no. How do we get this agreement to this? How do we take their input? How do we make them understand? Say BBC and Abekoso. Okay. So that is where I have a problem. 2, royalties now you're increasing it 10%. It is for whose interest? Because royalties in ye chia anka ye setting up royalties in the MDF say and Kamebwa communities. 80% of the chunk money goes to MIF, Mineral Income Investment Fund. Now, na aka 20% of the box sum. 20% of the box sum you keep it 10% MDF. Half of it is for research. And so that 10% depend on account. Out of the 100% royalties now, you tiane nka you timu person ko bua in krona ade n be affect you mo nanka akushi you. Aban keep about 90% of them. 10% na aka nso kran. Stool land for be keep you 1%. Na aka 9%. Eno na ye chairman and Nnawotwi district assembly. Nti wo na wo be ka say your boss municipal assembly. Mo oboase nti mo gi revenue. But we call na sika a free royalty se ko ho no. Nya sika be to my development bia.
Okay.
Nti me person me busa Mr. Isi say. Sisi ani dey call 10%. Are they going to use the same formula? If they are going to use the same formula, then I'm telling you say it's not going to help us.
Okay.
And why don't they rechannel a chunk of that money to the district assembly and bring development to the communities?
But one thing they did about this agreement is on my BBF no community development fund.
Maybe yes. Also, increase government carry over interest to 13%, and increase royalties also call from 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
So sika we nyina ye sika government coffers. But so community development fund na per existing companies, and what they do is that they involve the community at the local level.
Okay.
Into communities ni involve omni minds ni nyina na aban. So mo chese o sa 1% we yamfa to futuro we ni yamfa said here. Government is not interested in that money. Why is it still at 1%? Because and when cost central government
about community.
And why is it still at 1%? Other than young push here no. Say your person communities in the benefit here. Other than young push here no to be at 2%. Until at the end of the day, whose interest are we serving? Are we serving the interest of the communities? Are receive the negative impact?
Okay.
And answer whose interest are we serving?
Okay. Ora Ahmad Sorogo was on the Mines and Energy Committee around our parliament. You know, this agreement. I'm going to say what is striking about this agreement for you? See, I just say community for the first time ever. Yashem Rasa Mpa. Also the 1% they contain. Only because all the whims and caprices and out there. I'm going to say.
Well, first and foremost, my main power coin so na yanchi atiefo nyina ana me amenu kuma so a otimin sabonkum because adwuma chapa not just as a member. I was a chairman for the committee for a very long time. A lot of these agreements are mining and mekaubi. Na question ba ko pen na mpese me bisa.
Nice.
If it's a Ghana nyina obi a pese ekoyenim mpuntio. The same thing community so when you be a pempuntio I just say when you Ghana ni a pesa oboa na se nyina pempuntio na sa de bi ba na de mpuntio ebra ye nyina adenti na man focus o mompe wan kasa bisa ho metimi fie akomo me nya aduane ni obi enu aduane de abrɛ me se da bi aduane ne mempe
you poison wo
ebia an wokan mempe adenti la either say poison wo ana aduane mi dini sesi ameme batochina mi yembetu ana bibi besi ana mi hwe ye no da bi aduane ne nka o se mi nya ne eboro sa ne ya de fa ba bi na abra me problem ni nyina no asem ba ko aye bisa ne se me mpese ye de lithium ya ye nya ne ade toto ada old minerals and mining agreements is I don't know how many people compare we are moving from 5 to 10 you could have moved from 5 to 20.
Okay.
If 5 for no yadi aye criticize senye. Maybe by it was 3 and we moved it from 3 to 5. Enti I know now you go in yadi and after that in so many years no. What have we benefited just like you were saying from all gold, diamond, bauxite, Ghana yetim in fact ye deteriorate yenko yenim. Enti na o say translate say dear na ma awurade ama yesa ne ama enyina. Nanso still yenko yenim e bia bibi wo wa atosini first and foremost if so mistake first one and they said a rush 10 mo ba ya wonya nye adeni wie consultation mu da sugusu mako sign agreement ye obi be a friend participatory democracy but ye wo se wo mankrofo no adeni ba be ha wo mo no eba mu pia even one person omumra mu bi ohini wom community no mu youth leader wom ansana aba bibi abeba out be ayenim number 2 ansana mo be kwa kosan agreement no mon test form hwe say form ne te say ne say na mo mfa nto na amanfo nyina nkeka bi because every seven preduasa adwene free nipa ba kotrim ebi ye experts te say ne watena wa che ebi a true practice no wa hu but obi nso wo ate say papa otu we na djuma yeah awonimpa enti mo flow to
alaje
yeah
obeso mo amame kra me ho nko mula onu say ya NLA eye bibi checks kama Ghana for yenko fa ene draw no tew ye ba ye beto aso na yetumi arap apalaji we dey misro so mama why me ba you see yenko for mula. All right, me mo akwa aba bi o mfambra na watch adwumadi so well yemra studio na mo men say ora Martin see aya also call your sister station and you know was kwan FM akọ but still your panel and kind of high new babedi and come ora Ahmad Sorogo former MP Alhaji Ahmadu Sorogo former MP for Madina no chairman for the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament Paul Gregboache Dankwa wa Robert Tantiali, Executive Director for Center for Social Impact Studies, or Dr. Frank Boatinson, Zoom. Alaji, now make a point to be wrap up my name.
So, Shalana, Uchatuana, so the me point na me making a diafra. But never making an answer.
Now, we also say, what's that time?
You know, we can say, Sadi pa baufia.
Yeah.
Obianua, Obekaso opo.
Okay.
But so when whom ye say, I didn't ban Obenya son faswa. But means Obepopunity.
But who is saying?
Me?
Yes.
Me who is say, Senyami mau a chedi bi ewo formua. Say, Formua. Mau faswa direct intentem.
Okay.
I don't trust a bibia, it may be a chef for Munyi. Because Sabi Ghana. Ende ochina Ghana ende ochina chi na ye wo nkrofo beba o se adwini wo mo beba ho nti ebi wo wa America so ka se wo hwa ye ka se wo mo crude oil pa America mo na the biggest in the world but mo decide say that be ntu wo mo to nkrofo de no mo de aba be go wo ko Russia gold e ta ho no wo mo say that be ye twen because ye tu ni nyina se si a akiri ma nti the mere fact say nyame dia ma wo wa hunu nkyere se prepre hu krikirigi se me kwa akotu especially se ne watu a wo mu a wutu no se mfa so kase emre wo mu a ya na atwetwe enti yes Ghana office se hu kyere aba no a se nyame ayi bibia ma ya bia betimi aboa ye ni yi a ma ho kyere no akofam kakra so I don't have a problem trying to exploit especially nya dia we starting na ochina but mfitiase no awose odu obia ka ho se ne be ya eba se ye implement ya obi ani wa obeye na kasa no oka wa more parliament din no say anaminua or say civil society communities and what have you but masa whether you like it or not the whole Ghana ya cheche mu oha mienu ni adi osonum na bronu bia obi a o represent womo our parliament and these parliamentarians ni nyina timi ba together na ya gitumu a omo gitumu a ayese omo agitumu on behalf of the people say we ye bibi especially committees ni ka ho na so omo nso nya involve omo ni mu ya na eha ahemfo community oba beye obi aman so bia ne se na se ura ono no ye ohene ho ntino say ni say
no na modin komo off.
Oh no me say just say on a lighter note on a lighter note ntino I was say wo nyina fra number 3 environmental maka agreement enro na me say send agreement mbra me nra na jono bi adeba ko a me hu ya sebe mani anye ho papa in the agreement no so far one more for the old agreement no ma disusa the same minerals and money in a no okofa ba kwa the same thing no di so 1 2 3 but a true baby power of the minerals commission on wo no na ha me kakra because wudru safety and danger baby a ombekwa kwa bibi betimi amanfo no omo kan say a reasonable time almost say a reasonable time. Me feel so kind reasonable time now I had to make a cry because a reasonable time no to the discretion of the minister no it must be specific. Say be a company na you say ya bosumu miensa na what you say or say ye ni say now say reasonable time why and a massa reasonable time no ya dia was say ye hwehwe mu yie pa parliamentary oversight whether you like it or not me reports and the report will be given to the minister and the minerals commission. The report me linkage between the minister and parliament. Say after say report na come minister no na minerals commission at what time no more report to na parliament kroni nyina na msi for no hu say ne e koso ni man hu say no so no ya report no we bia man hu say royalties almost say from 5 to 10. Why 5 to 10? Because the see America say lithium the world demand on 310,000 metric tons. See 310 metric tons. But by the year 2035, got 3,000 metric tons. Say we are they are trying to do clean energy, fusion, internal. It's going to rise to the crude oil in the can be conform. Say conform. Also, say company agree say we move from 5 to 10 a year a little higher. No agree say we may be on so say yes. I don't return no. Bibi papa or a year. Intino me joining say why can't we even move a bit higher? Extension. Was it the minister can extend? I know the Miyam Shemekakra. No, because what they call parliament, parliament ratifies it based on the timing. Say 15 years, ratification for the 15 years. And the minister can say after the end of the 15 years, the minister can't extend without recourse to parliament. And also so.
But or the same without recourse to parliament.
No, one can't. Was it the minister can extend?
And so say minister ma permit na I say about.
No, anya.
Okay.
Anya.
Okay.
Who shall main agreement now? Or say with parliamentary ratification. Main agreement no say with parliamentary ratification. 15 years no so agreement now. But who bet me extend it? Who extend it? I bet me say new clauses crowning your members. How does parliament come in to also know say this is what we can do better for our country?
Okay.
And yes, in effect, so when you have a goal, or my boxer, or my diamond, a DM for so near.
Okay, all right.
And then the last one, why the rush? Why the rush?
Okay.
Because me feel say we shouldn't use this as a political tool. There's no need to rush. Na yen hwehwem yenye bibia yen gauge sa niti nyina no amanfo yen wie ni nyina ansa na parliamentary ratify wie no abanya ba abeka ni obeka na amanfo ni aje.
All right, you
it is rational.
Me da say menko aban spokesperson where na yen ni din ko Paul Grave Boache dan ko Paul Grave Alhaji Ahmad Sorogo say adentina more rashes but this is the best time come to me ayama Ghana in this deal.
Me never met you na message ya wahwefo ene wetifo na metia honorable Alhaji Sorogo and Robert and Minerals Commission CEO Obabekan ho na metia the good people of Iboaka North constituency.
O contest to one.
But try me contest primary.
Be contest we are first.
Good.
Sana mo sina no be parliament aba.
Ye baba be boa osome juma.
Okay.
Say parliament fatami.
Oh, why not? Obia. So long as Uncle be you there. And for to Uncle you. So me no to my one baby I want so there. Say bia Madam can say safe. Say city be any Ghana is safe. Bia with what is happening we be to me change. But he stands a very good chance of becoming a member of parliament. And we are boko. Parliament is also going to be boko.
That's it.
Alhaji Sorogo.
Baptism of fire. I think, sir, for us as a government, one of our buying overarching goal is resources, mineral resources. We are buying one. Imra ebe down
ama imra nso aboa ama dwumadi asisi yedi efa sa mineral resources no yedi afa ho omampeni na do danko ekufuado na oye mampeni obeka ya obaye wa set up GISDEC a Ghana Integrated and Iron and Steel Company as I set up GIADIC a Ghana Aluminium inti by and large no abai epese o make sure say nyankopon adoma chede o dia che a gold a oil a diamond a bauxite Ghana fo nya enya ho emfaso inti for me lithium agreement I think it's a step in the right direction. There is not maybe any one of my between me I can say we nimre and we ain't nimre. Minjini say I buy air rush at all. I mean from 2017 Jumadi bi a ye dinyano to augment the future and pride of the Ghanaian people. Intuition shaya yadi atutu hono lithium agreement in him the number of years ebedi the number of people on Benny Juma, feasibility studies almost year, mapping almost year, almost making sure say these are the number of lithium that is on the ground in Yemenyano. Clearly, no, I think say Abaye making sure say opposition Ghana ye with the opportunities Ghana Benya etumedi omwankasa omwakwenya. For me, I think this is the right timing. The Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the Honorable Samuel Abujinapo, one excellent gentleman who say he's been very ready for the work since President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo appointed say Ombranombe minister in that particular sector. Right from illegal mining now, omubani making sure say senior illegal mining subete to buying 10 mercury-free machines mining responsible mining. To me, I use those mercury-free machines and they will not continually use the water bodies and pollute it, making sure say more mining sectors, more alternative livelihood program beyond the two honoma in not long ago, Dr. Larry Carroll at the Betobja said they are providing close to about 100,000 jobs in that particular sector. I mean, all well and good, you can clearly see say government's agenda is to make sure say every other mineral resources at your war goes to parliament and they make approval, and then whichever company the contract has the mandate to be able to perform it. Nema manage here with Martin, you see some more kind of brain, the processes within which are overcut to make sure say you have your license. And I think
but as for those processes, the law has laid it down. But we're looking at, emphasise on mine Ghana. Enyafi natural resource and yankupon. We've been operating a system at 5%, free carried interest around 10%. Yeah, people think that you're mining in Ghana over 50 years, independence, but over 60 years, why are we still operating on the same principle? So, the free carried interest on here. We are not really maximizing how much a bitch we are participating in all of this.
Oh, I think, sir, you put in this, then it means, sir, your Maya, we want to exist without the support and attention of other existing countries. Now, minerals, and I'm sure, sir, if Martinez was here, he will tell us, minerals, you need expertise.
Yeah.
Enge obiana hobetumi abaye mineral exploration. Ubekaya yensaka oil. It took a very long time. And sana Jubilee ne kept 3 points ne omunya omu to me explore who say, oh, you can get oil at this side and this is the depth of it and this is the amount of money omu invested to even make sure so much to rich oil. No, minerals there are expertise, and when you want to so to me and mining or minerals in Libya, you go for the best expertise. How why you be dying in other countries? Now, obviously, if they are coming into your system, that's we need the resources enough to get a lot more percentages. I think, say, one of the overarching goal is that almost they do not run at a loss. Now, one of the things I'm managing about this contract is that the Ghanaian people, to me, are participating at the shares, senior a kind of floating on the Ghana Stock Exchange. It's not something that happen over the long period. It's almost investment. With treasury bills. Now you can also invest into lithium and electronic cars are eBay. Me, I have a few friends here. use electronic vehicles. I mean, with all the climate change in the America, the best way to go in the future of Ghana, in the future of Africa, in the future of the rest of the world is to go eco. So you can save the green economy. And not destroy the green economy. Look at the carbon, EFI, all of these cars are unamana, polluting you. Sometimes you put me driving behind the car, you cannot even see the road very clearly. These are things that you will not even find outside the world in terms of developed world. Until when Ghana is trying to make sure, say, you're green, yeah, bomode, I should say, your emissions, they reducing the I think it's one of the steps that all well-meaning Ghanaians should support it.
Okay. Member Ratanti, so if you look at the Minerals and Mining Act, Section 25 will say a holder of mining lease, restricted mining lease or small-scale mining license shall pay royalty that may be prescribed in respect of minerals obtained from its mining operations to the Republic, except that the rate of royalty shall not be more than 6% or less than 3% of the total revenue of minerals obtained by the holder. Samrawe, should it still be in our books?
Yeah, I think so. Including Mr. Martin AC. Ajia to say, I will say yes. I'm so kind. Say Emrano. Yes, Emrano because over the years we've learned a lot of lessons. Until now, yeah, experiences be a Yes, Emrano. Say you be to me more benefit from the extractive sector. But then before some benefits, so I'm better me come a chikakra.
Okay.
I say Adia ba kwa MIA board. Into me table and go negotiate people. They say company in the buy no about exploration.
Yeah.
Na aban abribia city back. Na company na koye
exploration
until we invest it. And also akoye say below two. Nti say obetuma invest ya na ade no kra no wa nya bibia ho no.
Na waboka
no ko. Nti ambribia ye tena na say o hiti no ka so oh afi de menya a good year number say me develop a pet and so I started our discussion into other I started discussion no from exploration other I was here tena ho na bia ye exploration and so I can say a petty participate na your geological survey authority me sure say you build it your resource well na say invest power or and can you able to make exploration you to me in large quantities we can start from somewhere say I had here exploration. We have our data. In me data. When you are coming there, we can sit on the table. No matter catch us any royalties. So it be at 30% and 40% because me want me data ni me bibia. But yet not back now. Omo exploration we it be must spending millions of dollars. And so na yakwa a problem. Inti ye pioneer from other countries are omo participating in exploratory process. No, send ye you bet to me
the emphasis can shame you determine your reserves.
Yes, but
but
the challenge is that I was education no ekopa because I don't know risky.
Okay.
It is our money I get so okay you pay benefits and you can see pay more benefit in there. And ye yin say as of mine and I find say am say ye baba ye exploration ye beden. Ye de sika beden. Because I know the bema ye kwam me to me akasa big on the table niyaje more interest for the country. So we can't always sit back na ya twen say a bend dia yenkoka we and now two we share the whole idea of royalties also buy obegin corporate tax ground rent ni bibia na ye hu say still a development in core mining communities no ye nyina ye kan bi takwa em say nansia na kwan no mintimu so ma ye kra obuase
ekwando moye they are really doing it because the last time
from Takwa to Takwa
but okay almost started you know the first phase is Aguna Kwanta to Takwa.
Yes,
so they've done trans so they are getting to a salmon. The last time I was there 2 weeks
ago.
I
was there 3 weeks ago and it was terrible.
Okay, demonstrations are
I was going
communities in the years okay
up to Aguna Kwanta.
No Mbajo Alhaji Kazembi, yes, from Takrady to Aguna Kwanta
and was terrible.
Yes,
because I went to
but baby almost started here Apimenim to Takrady and yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
And look, okay, say community no. Omo close road no agitated say no. After the afunu ye.
Yeah.
Ansa na omo ye obuase. The same thing ekoso. Even after redevelopment na ye program kese man for assurance say ye be from odwuma mo be sisan no still are ye hu. Enti no na make say 5 to 10% no. Emu 80% eko mineral income investment fund on na a plan no be translate into development or communities and there was a have a discussion.
Okay.
And to me proposal and say anka ye 10% of royalties no yemfa small percentage to say be 20% mo nko mineral income investment fund na intentionally yenka say 80% na aka no ye de nananum royalties ne stool land for the mom we are now the percentage communal development fund we are ne aka no yemfa nko boa communities na eno nye model.
But it's a point I say we want Ghana said that we can be big players in the mining industry.
Yeah.
That's why MEF is being empowered to invest. And it's all going to 20%.
So that's why I'm asking, say, MEF said 2018 now almost started receiving into apart from royalties, and almost also the government carry over interest as a fund in normal investment. But the question is, me am eti obuasi akapolisu. Obi a oti ahwemu obuasi, obi oti dochiwa, obi oti teblebe otakwa. MEF so far she come emphasize obe na wenye fiso. That is the question I'm asking.
Okay.
It is enu enye dwuma de ade na ye the chunk of money go into investment. Na yam fa ko communities mo yan ka say okay with the lithium because ye pushi ye interest no. Yam fa we nye model na chine bi e be mining bi wa ye use eno. But that discussion no I leave it to the communities no. Say any civil society na even parliament any honorable man omo more experience in this engagement and say omo na yenhwe communities no at the grassroots na yenhu say ade no e benefit communities no enyina afin so no engagement me say it can be proper engagement. You see most of the time your communities na Mr. Yisi of no case on my engagement by in the communities but engaging the chief engaging even parliament kra unwe and then how many people now I have send a bodwa ekoshi omo man for catch omo say me call and say in fact o mining communities ma woni omo kasa grassroots omo te community pa omo catch say na nakra one company near one.
Okay.
Just because meetings are and engagement are ye at nananum level na bi wo a endru community no. So what you say? And it's up to us say ye be yes engagement we nyina.
Okay.
Two,
okay.
Me the master mo be one of the challenges are we share lithium mining Zimbabwe omu nyapa artisanal mining they from Galamsey for we urban and one of the issues on all the mine from the mining communities in
Galamsey
between large scale mining companies and the small scale miners, not small scale miners but artisanal miners. Galamsey yes. There was a started discussion then there.
Okay, all right.
Now you the best model. You bet me they solve our problem. And this year now ya call I could do baby ni asaba back.
Okay.
Yes, our discussion.
All right, you. Me that say. Yeah, wrap up, Alaji. Sir, 1% community development agreement, no. For us to wrap up, no. If you say the governance structure and also munya to administer Sasikano.
Well, before
in 3 minutes, my many, so that will go to the next stop.
Yeah, before I wrap up, no. Based on the Minya Kumaya kind, say ya move. So we the the CEO of Minerals Commission can. Also, we call cabinet meeting. You know, the president insisted move to 10. And then from move up to 13.
Yeah.
No. What was the basis for say move to 10? Why couldn't we have said, look, say lithium no abeye is abeye a better currency gold.
Okay.
Oh, I mean move the country the whole way forward. And to be a baby. And Ibriaba, so okay the way France for Niger for nta somewhere kosono it tells you how important that mineral is. So I'm saying bia and kebeti a bit better. There is nothing forcing us about Mr. Betu because it will not evaporate from where it was discovered. And a Ghana besi. And you know, if we cannot get a very good a year a bit me I mean we can as well live it. That is not to say we shouldn't exploit it. Who be say 1%? Me to me no. If you say 1% in Isha.
Okay.
All said and done. The bottom line is say one more much when you next year, it decided say one be frustrated company no. Masa, whatever security measures obey piano make me frustrated company.
Okay.
Because this is about 42.5 kilometers. Oh, kwa wall. A 42.3 kilometers one. You can do it.
Yeah.
What you soldier folk baby and you can't. And in a man for bet me how. So why don't you move them along by making sure say chrono who did this or no. I want us no benyam puntu juma because.
But aside this, there's also the CSR activities that the company can do.
Oh, masa ye na nim sa na ebiasida o. Ebiasida. Oni asiro oni antino. We are saying say wait here. Lithium asase so.
Okay.
Say munya dia munya amaye mumbaye nye ni say. Then going to we say 1% no.
The governance structure.
Governance structure. Well, say no party. I don't even know who are those who are going to administer the 1%.
What I'm told, I understand is called this municipal assembly.
Yeah, if it's going to the district assembly,
there's a committee.
A committee within the district assembly.
There's actually community participation.
Because it must be for the community.
They decide what to do.
Okay.
But of course, the district assembly is in charge of the total area.
Yeah.
But ABIA, not district assembly, no. Masa, yeah, who be? Misapplication
of funds.
Of funds. Yeah, the fire, say. Now, abandon and one bam say. But ABIA representation, it must be biased towards the community.
Okay.
To me, it's a 7-member committee. The chairman must come from the community.
Any baby.
Okay. All right. 7 5 or 4 must come from that area and send assembly for Bebamwa.
Okay. All right. Mate, it's 35 after 9. Uguswa share Nnawotwi Jumedi wa Adom TV. Uti nso ahaya sempa 94.7 FM. Your friend Samuel Kojo Brace. Well, my enko the next topic so. Abai yes or the mrabi beba na enyoma ye kraba Ghana no nke mu bi wo ha minister na the ban better so that enyoma we dey nam say betumi anya bu oman we mu Ghana ntino obekra chisa minister na hu say ampa se ehu hia say no man beba nsa etumi aba na ena mo position eba ho nti government say watie ema was suspended laying of sa legislative instrument no ye hu ni say aban spokesperson be sha say fro aban so watie say then ekoso once or mass suspended laying no
Sami Medase I say airline ne bae no infitiase nkomo na ne hyase di ye no ene se say ye hwe ne ye na ye caution say ye hwe ne ye as a buying is an so be kaya say afine twem no October 30th no man peni another dan kwekufuado e bae e ma have a economic address and o can say or the bosumi insia bi e to honom se ne be ya ye be hwe your imports and how are you depending on importation. Mijidi say airline no echi nkomo no efi 6 months no steady na ye no senior you betumi ehwe senior you depending on importation. Items near list you know mu nsuo ceramics no cement ni near money list ni nya no drink fruit juice no essential commodities enye say ebia omo pese omo kra no dodo ebeton pe nso ye ni mefiefie mu a ngofo afibia omo kra barrels say omo anto barrels ni full of food enfi London omo beto fi America na omo di abagana just for omo anka omo consumption use in the country enti eyemede say as a listening government ya bomodin etie the plight of the Ghanaian people, from the public, from the civil society organizations, from the minority in government. I dream will say, "Yetri saya, nya de be hard dream be brave." But yetri sign, send ye be ya, you be review percentages in be of the items are importing. Some of you will not believe it. Say, in this country, restaurants be one of my almost crown cocoa. Efi Brazil, well over 35 years they've been doing that. Ebi omo more contract and I say ebi omo farm e wo no. But oko to Burkina Faso or Mali or even Ivory Coast, our neighboring countries, you could clearly see if yakukwa homudi. It's me from the first time I'm home, frozen chicken a yakra efi abrochia enya demorage ewo pots no. Me shame and I felt to myself, say me frozen in never de me dibi krada. It's me my home say yakukwa yato a yekuno. Hamame huwa mindi edwane no senye fish a yakwa yi efi pumu aba mindi edwane no and it's healthy so local rice is say masha say midibi me sa say di and me who say it's really very healthy o de ye mutu oni rere nkwan ya who say yes this is the proper Ghanaian food and the proper Ghanaian dish I think say abai actual sign so that you better prepare your local capacity. Whatever it is, going forward, and said Ghana for who say, Ahania, and see a deep Ghana journey, and say, ya know any taste, any appetite, echo dot Ghana journey. Send a bay audio import cry, be import about 10% of the items to augment, and then overshare regulatory scheme, non license, and wholesale and seven. James also said, they're coming back of these food items, the policies will be a bit more favorable to the Ghanaian people. Okay.
All right. Yes, Uncle for Dr. Frank Boateng is with us. And my man a bite on this, but answer my man a bite on this one. No. Doc, bet to me, am I, the conclusion remarks on the lithium mining story, no? And then, okay, I am told we had a technical challenge earlier, and Yankonkofa Mula winnings, no?